threat to the Chiefs in terms of repeating?
Well, I think so. And I say that recognizing that the Chiefs are the favorites and we would all pick them to win the Super Bowl. But I'm just looking at the rest of the AFC guys. And that's where I come to that conclusion. And my opinion has changed from weeks ago. I needed to see the Browns in a competitive matchup against a competitive team and see how they would do offensively. I know that defensively they're challenged. They're like 27th in points allowed. They're like, 20th against the pass and a little bit better against the rush. The defense hasn't been that impressive statistically, even though they came into the game against Baltimore having won 4 straight and 5 of 6. But the reason why I'm paying attention to the Browns right now, particularly with the elevated level of play by Baker Mayfield, is because the one place where they do stand out is with their rushing attack, which is number 3 overall in the National Football League. Nick Chubb is averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Kareem Hunt is averaging.
All right. It looks like got a little bit of a technical difficulty with Stephen A. there. Max, you want to jump in?
Well, I hear what Stephen A. is saying. I'm going to respond to his point in a second. Let me just say the biggest threat to the Chiefs, I think, are the Bills probably in the AFC right now. But I don't see the Browns as a threat to the Chiefs. And it's not a slight against the Browns. The Browns are a good and ascending team. And I'm happy to say Baker Mayfield is playing well and is playing better than just an average quarterback, which after a while I said, okay, maybe he's just an average quarterback. Nope, he's playing better than that. And that's good for him. I'm happy to see it and good for the Browns. However, before you get lofty ideas about beating the Chiefs, how about beating one of the other 2 teams in your own division that you must beat? Forget the Bengals, right? If you're the Browns, you got to beat the Steelers, you got to beat the Ravens. They're 0-3 against those teams. They'll have another shot at Steelers last game of the season, but they have yet to beat either the Ravens or the Steelers. You're talking about beating the Chiefs? Look, I get the point about the run attack, right? The run game is real. They get good run blocking. They have Kareem Hunt and obviously Nick Chubb. They're very good there, and they know how to use it. Here's the thing. Running the run game basically against a team like the Chiefs, what that's really about, not just testing their run defense, but it's about time of possession. You want to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, right? It's one of the reasons that's effective, that Stephen A., I presume, likes that idea. The fact of the matter is the Browns are 12th in the league time of possession. So they're good and the run defense works. They're, trending toward top 3rd. But Pittsburgh's better than that. The Bills are better than that. Pittsburgh does it by simulating a run game because they get no run blocking with those quick, short passes, right? The bottom line is the effect is the same. They possess the ball for more than the other team. That's the key to beating the Chiefs. That's where the run game is relevant. And guys, to tell you the truth, I don't think just the run game is enough for the Browns. I don't think their quarterback is Josh Allen, for example. I'd rather have Josh Allen than Baker Mayfield. I don't think their defense is all world. I don't think they represent the biggest threat to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree, Max. For me, the past few weeks is, I've come to the conclusion that the Buffalo Bills are the biggest challengers to the Kansas City Chiefs, and the primary reason is the quarterback. When you look at Josh Allen, look at all what the detractors said about Josh Allen. Over the first couple of years was he's inaccurate. He has a tendency to turn the ball over. Then we move into year 3 of Josh Allen, and boy, what a big year this has been for Josh Allen. The jump that he's made, the moves that the Buffalo Bills front office made to really accelerate his learning curve and his ability to make plays in that offense. Bringing over Stephon Diggs has just been a godsend for Josh Allen. And we can see with the Buffalo Bills, particularly in the offense, they can beat you in many different ways. They have a group of skilled wide receivers that can beat you man-to-man coverage. They can beat zone coverage. They can do all the things necessary to score a bunch of points. And like you said, Max, when you look at the Buffalo Bills, it's not about rushing, not about rushing the football. I know what Stephen A. is talking about when he's talking about running the football, possessing the clock and all that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to have difference makers. You have to have guys, particularly at the quarterback position, that can make those special type of plays in order to go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Allen's the type of guy that can do that. He can beat you within the pocket. He definitely can make those special plays outside the pocket. And to me, that's when he's he's at his best. He's at his best outside the pocket because he has the arm strength to get the ball down the field and make those special type of plays that only we see from a couple guys, Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. And I think when you get to the postseason, those special type of players, those are the guys that make the biggest difference in the postseason. That's why I think the Buffalo Bills are the chief contenders for against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, here's where I disagree. First of all, let's understand what the question is here. It's about the Browns and being a legit threat to the Chiefs. I respect what I'm seeing from the Buffalo Bills. McDermott can really coach. I love what I'm seeing in terms of the ascension of Josh Allen, who's completed about 68% of his passes. I think he's got like 28 touchdowns, just 9 interceptions. He's been incredibly impressive. But they also have Stephon Diggs, who's been a stud, which means they're going to want to throw the football, which means that at some point in time, they're going to try to get in some semblance of a shootout with the Kansas City Chiefs. They went against them earlier this season, and we saw how that worked out. What I'm saying is that based on history, and I can go by history, Damian, and do it this way, okay? What I'm saying is, and I've said this to Max on many occasions, particularly as the season wanes, then you take into account the likelihood that the game would be at Arrowhead Stadium, or even if it was Cleveland off of Lake Erie. What I'm talking about is, number one, keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field, and number two, understanding what two things travel with you. It's a defense and it's a running game. And when you look at Devin Singletary, even though the brother can ball, he's averaging over 4 yards a carry, and I got mad respect for him. We understand that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are on another level. Kareem Hunt can catch passes out of the backfield as well as run the football. And Nick Chubb is just a stud. So when we talk about literally having a chance to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, to keep that offense relatively out of rhythm, you're good. In order to do that, you're going to need to run the football effectively. The one thing that we know for sure Cleveland can do
not necessarily.
is that. And that's what I'm saying.
Not necessarily, Stephen A. It's time of possession. Like, you're talking about the run game, not in terms of, hey, you want to exploit some team because they have bad run defense. You're talking about possess the ball, and control the clock, right? And so you keep Mahomes off the field that way. The Bills and the Steelers have better time of possession than the Browns. The Steelers with those little quick passes from Roethlisberger, and the Bills are just a well-balanced, just kind of a well-balanced team. I know we're talking about the Browns. Why is that?
Because you know that when Stefanski first took over the job, it took him weeks to get Baker Mayfield within the flow. You're trying to not squash his development and his confidence, so you can't go by that because they were trying to do different things in Cleveland to get to this point.
Well, we'd have to look at time of possession in the last month or so. I would suspect that the Steelers had a rough patch. I'd suspect the Bills are right there. I would guess they're better than the Cleveland even over the last month or so. But I don't know. We could look that up. The point is this: Baker Mayfield gets a lot of credit for improving, and he deserves it. But and I know we're talking Browns. Damian brought up Josh Allen, age 22, roughly 1 touchdown to 1 interception, 50% completion. Age 23, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception, 60% completion. Age 24, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception, 70% completion, right? They have an ascending quarterback who looks like a real star. The Browns really don't have that. Respect to Baker Mayfield, but he hasn't played like Josh Allen. I think that is the difference. I think you need a guy like that if you want to beat the Chiefs.
How'd that work out for Deshaun Watson last year?
Listen, Stephen A., I get what you're saying. You're talking about a guy. I came from the whole ground and pound mentality, and it took us far. It took us to 2 AFC Championship games. But I think the difference is when you talk about special quarterbacks, those are the guys who are able to make those special plays, those 1 or 2 plays in a game that other guys just can't make. That's why as much as I like Cleveland and the running game and all those type of things, Josh Allen is the guy in the AFC that can possibly go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes as far as making those special plays in the playoffs that can elevate your team and put your team over the top. I just don't see Baker Mayfield doing that.
All right, we'll leave it there. Baker should just be worried about my New York Football Giants. Forget the Chiefs. Sunday night, prime time. Let's get it. Can't wait. Damian.
You're in line, Molly.
Good to see you, sir. Happy holidays. When we come back, Battle of the Birds and the Rooks. This is going to be a good one as well, guys. I'm excited for football this weekend. Kyler Murray versus